When I reviewed 2013's Tomb Raider, I praised it for its simplicity and how straightforward it was. Its sequel, Rise of the Tomb Raider, is a bit more complicated and not as straightforward, but does that make it worse? The game starts very differently than from the first one. Instead of Lara crashing on an island, she starts on top of the mountain in the middle of Siberia. In the first game, Lara gets thrown into a dangerous situation, but in Rise of the Tomb Raider, she throws herself into danger, while she searches for eternal life. The story is something I like. There's a great mystery of the lost city and a divine source said to give eternal life. I found myself intrigued about what was going to happen next, and how we would find the lost city and the divine source. I was not as interested in the story as I was in the first game, as there weren't as much character development for Lara, and less characters to actually care about. Like in the first game, we have Sam, Roth, Alex, Jonah, and the Scottish guy that I can't remember the name of. Here you only have Jonah, and there are characters like Jacob that joins later, but there wasn't long enough time to build a real connection with them. When it comes to gameplay, I don't really have any real complaints. It keeps the good things from the first game and improves on some other things, like how you can shoot arrows to create a pathway in certain situations. The weapons are where they've changed the most. There are now different weapon options, like you can have an SMG instead of a pistol. And my personal favorite is that there are several bows to choose from, and the bows have a unique ability like fire arrows, gas arrows, and bomb arrows. You can create these arrows and even normal arrows from collecting certain materials and making them by holding in a certain key, which makes it very convenient. You can also use things scattered around the world, like gas cans, alcohol bottles can be lit on fire and thrown at enemies. You can also throw things like cans to distract enemies and sneak up on them. I preferred using stealth, so the bow was my weapon of choice most of the time. All of this really plays well with Lara as a character. She's someone that will do anything to survive. She uses anything she can to her advantage. Even her enemies can be used. You can plant poison traps on them for other enemies to find. There are also some outfits you can shoot from between, and it all looks pretty good. But of course the best one is this one. You know, if I could have had this from the beginning of the game, it would actually generally improve my experience so much more. I like the different skills you can unlock, and some of them are really useful. You can upgrade by scavenging the world and looting enemies. One of my favorite things in the game is the level design. When platforming around the world, things will sort of fall into place for you to use. One thing I didn't like was how you start off without anything of your previous abilities from the first game. Like Lara doesn't even bring a lighter with her. I understand not getting your full arsenal, but having Lara pretty much go back to how she was in the first game is not one of my favorite things. One way to prove it on Lara is that you can finally run, making some of the intense moments that bit more epic. One thing I didn't mention about the weapons before is that the assault rifles have horrible spread and crosshair. The enemies are quite similar from the first game in terms of behavior. They will try to flank and flush out, so you can't stay still and kill them. There's still a nice variety of enemies, from normal soldiers, melee soldiers, bomb soldiers, and the mystical enemies. But for the most part, the enemies stay pretty much the same from the first game. They just look a bit different. In my review of Tomb Raider 2013, I said that the game is a great example of less is more. And that is almost the case with Rise of the Tomb Raider, where it does have some extra things that makes for a better experience and can make the game more fun, like the grappling hook and climbable soft surfaces. But for me personally, the first game just hits the nail on the head for me. It's simple, short, and straight to the point. Rise of the Tomb Raider does have more to offer as a total package, so if you're looking for a game with a good story, good mechanics, and some fun combat, then try giving Rise of the Tomb Raider a shot. If you want to see me play Rise of the Tomb Raider, then make sure to check out this video next. If you want to catch me live, make sure to join me when I stream at Saturdays at 10 AM CST. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.